And there we go. So coming down in a 3, 2, and 1. Well, Mayor Brent, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com. Glad to chat with you again from the beautiful skyline of the city of Mosinee behind you. I love that. You're one of the guys that actually follows my lead in using the Zoom backgrounds. Tell us again just
Oh,
about that background and where you got it from.
no, this is my new office here in the high rise of City Hall. But no, it's a great background. It was a friend of mine that does some drone photography and had taken a great photo overlooking the Wisconsin River and the area of the paper mill there, and just sort of highlights the beauty of our quaint little city. So,
Yeah, I would say one of the great things that makes Mosinee the unique location that it is. You know, you're just far enough out there that you can stretch your legs a little bit. You've still got some great amenities. You've got Stevens Point and Wausau within not even a 1 hour drive either way. You're just kind of right there in the middle of it all. You got everything there that you need to kind of stretch your legs out and get away from people for a while.
yeah, you definitely do. You know, the city has taken off over the last 5, 6 years, and you can certainly spend your evening and get your dinner, your beer at the brewery, and use our beautiful walking trail along the Wisconsin River. Hit your hardware store up. We've got it all here. There's no reason to leave. So
And of course, this is Wisconsin. We have to talk about the Quick Trip edition. Addiction. You got Quick Trip too. That's all you need, right?
I think everybody's got a quick trip. So some have more than one. So,
Hey,
but
as
you
long
know,
as you've got
quick
one.
trip is important. So you got to have quick trip.
Yes, exactly. As long as you have one. But that's at least my requirements anyway. But as you know, the last year has gone on. You and I were just talking a little bit. Things are more to business as usual than they were before. There is still lingering effects, impacts from COVID-19. We are starting to get more people vaccinated, which means we're more closer, more towards normal. Just give us your assessment of things in the city now that we are at that kind of 1 year mark from when things really got turned on their head.
Yeah, you know, we in the city of Mosinee really tried to take the pandemic with a common sense approach. You know, you didn't see any shutdown orders, you didn't see any resolutions in the city. We relied on people to use common sense and look out for their own health and safety. What we focused on rather was how to help businesses who really were put in a tough position by some of the early shutdown orders that came through from the state of Wisconsin. I believe I was one of the first mayors in the central Wisconsin area to decide to do a city grant program for our small non-franchise local businesses. We used everything we could, which wasn't much, but the amounts that we were able to disperse, and I think we helped between 20 and 25 local businesses with some amount of money to get through that very tough period. Fortunately, our state Supreme Court saw the wisdom in the decision it made in May of last year, I believe, to reopen businesses. And had it gone on any longer, I don't know that there's much else we could have done. But we tried to get in front of it because the state and federal government simply don't move as fast as a local government can move. And then those businesses were able to get some help from the state of Wisconsin and other programs to help them get through. And when you look back now, a year later, you know, things are picking up again. Certainly not to the degree that they were before the pandemic, but I talked to small business owners, especially in the bar restaurant community, which was really hit the hardest. How business is doing. They're sounding more and more enthusiastic. Of course, I visit local businesses to see how they're doing. I'm seeing more and more people out and about. And I don't know if that's a combination of people are just tired of it or are feeling safer because more people are being vaccinated. Whatever it is, we're glad to see things slowly but steadily coming back to normal. But again, we all communities take a different approach. I'm confident in the common sense of my residents for their own health and safety. So we certainly don't feel we're in a position to tell them what or what not to do with respect to their health. And so really we asked how we could help, not how we can mandate.
Mhm. And in one of the other things that you had going on at that time as well was expansion in your business park. And you were fortunate enough that some of that was able to continue as well through the pandemic, especially places like Aero Global, which I think for the most part is what's going to surprise a lot of people is they did that expansion kind of working over a national border that's been closed between the US and Canada as well. So things in that aspect were looking up for you last year also.
Right. Every industry is affected different, I think, by the COVID-19 pandemic. But Aero Global is a good example of a business that, however they were affected, they persevered through with their expansion plans in the city of Mosinee. They are one of my favorite, if not the favorite business in the business park. They have just loved doing business with us in the city. They continue to expand. They bring in jobs from throughout, not just the city of Mosinee, but the central Wisconsin region. I know that I've toured the facility several times and spoke to employees that drive as far away from Medford to come work there. So when you bring in more people to businesses in our community, even if they don't live here, they support our other small businesses. They get their haircuts done, they eat their lunch, they go to their dentist and chiropractic appointments in town on their off time during the day from their job. So it really supports the rest of our community, and we're very grateful to them for the expansions they've made and the investments they've made in Mosinee.
Then one other thing I wanted to ask you too, I've been asking a lot of people this actually, from the way you've looked at how things changed, the way you had to be, or businesses had to be nimble in the last year or so. Have you found anything that's changed in the last year, or any difference that you've had to make in the way you do your job that you maybe would like to see stick around or like to build off of, or something like that in the years to come as well, whether that be the ability to do some work remotely or what have you?
Um, well, I'm sure there's some positives that have come out of this for some people. I would have liked to have been an investor, I guess, in Zoom, which I never heard of before the pandemic. But and it is it's convenient to do a lot of meetings by virtual, and a benefit of it for residents is that if they want to attend meetings that they don't feel comfortable attending in person, they can attend virtually. We didn't really do that before the pandemic. We had to find a way to do it to continue to comply with open meetings requirements. But I'm old fashioned, and I really appreciate coming into the office every day. I appreciate going to meetings in person. I've attended a few by Zoom in my role, a different role with the county board, but I think you lose a great deal of interaction with your colleagues, your fellow elected officials when people are attending by Zoom. They're not going to meetings in person. They're feeling comfortable doing it from home. Um, so I would like to see us really get back to that as we continue to move forward. And even on the business side, you talk to businesses that used to do a lot of business travel. I did that in my private practice, and that has substantially decreased in the last year. There is no substitute for one-on-one in-person interaction. So my hope is we continue to move towards getting back to that, and it has a ripple effect on other industries. I sit on the Central Wisconsin Airport Board. Business travel is big out of that facility that sits in my community in the city of Mosinee, and um, we really need to get people back to feeling safe, not only flying for tourism, but flying for business travel. I know it may be a cost saver to businesses, but in the long run, I think it's more effective to see your sales rep or your customer in person. So
Yeah, no doubt about it. And believe me, once I get myself vaccinated, being the health conditions that I have to put up with, and once this is
sure.
all done, that's one thing I'm going to be looking forward to as well, is taking my work Jeep out and making those 1 or 2 hour road trips, or in your case, it's more like an hour and a half road trip to Mosinee to catch up like that, because there is that value in the face to face. And the good news is, I think we are closer to the day that happens, certainly than we were a while ago. One more thing we wanted to talk to you about, the American Rescue Act, of course, that was passed. You've had a few weeks now to digest. I know the city, counties, associations had some time to look into the numbers too. Do you know just exactly how much Mosinee is going to be getting out of that, and what you might be able to use that for here in the near future?
Yeah, I don't think we know the precise number yet. I was initially, when it came out, I was told a number around $400,000, and I think there's still a lot of questions out there as to what it can be used for. What's the qualifying expenditure? I know the county has those questions. I know the city and other communities have those questions, and that's that's going to have to be sorted out. I have mixed feelings about the rescue plan in terms of the investment that's made for local and county government assistance. You know, of course, you're not going to turn the money down to make a point, because for a small community like the city of Mosinee, returning $400,000 to the federal government has a very nominal impact in the grand scheme of things to the United States. But it troubles me because I don't feel like a taxpayer in Morgantown, West Virginia, should be paying for utility infrastructure in the city of Mosinee or any other community in the state of Wisconsin. But um, the money can certainly be put to use. It'll help our taxpayers because we won't have to levy taxes for infrastructure projects. But those infrastructure needs were there regardless of COVID, and it makes me wonder why a great deal of this bill was put under COVID, quote unquote, relief. And I have a business background. I have a business degree before I went to law school. I studied economics, but you don't need a degree to know the historical pains that we've suffered in our country from inflation. And as more money chases fewer goods, you're infusing a substantial amount of money into a fractured supply chain already. It's a perfect storm for inflation, which I really have concerns about for the health of our country. But that being said, a long-winded answer to your question is we expect around 400,000, and we'll likely use it on a whole backlog of utility projects we have in the city.
Hmm. And of course, you can say that you've been a taxpayer in Morgantown, West Virginia before,
I
right?
have, well, I guess I wasn't much of a taxpayer. I was at the time. I was a college student, probably paying sales tax at the grocery store, gas tax. Who knows it? But I was living in university housing.
Uh,
That was not very attractive at the time.
bar
But that
and
we,
bars don't pay taxes in Morgantown.
what's that?
Bars don't pay taxes in Morgantown.
When you go to law school, my friend, you don't have any time for so. But
I think you mentioned backlogs of infrastructure there, as we try to get back on track. One thing that you are going to be uh, fixing, or at least you're going to be paying some attention to, hopefully this year, the Highway 153 project. I'm sure there's going to be some money spent on that this summer as well, if you get that rolling, correct?
yeah, the state of Wisconsin has a highway that runs through Mosinee, so it's really within their jurisdiction. So we're at their mercy. Fortunately, a section of 153 will be repaved this summer, and it will really touch up the east side of our business community. And then we're hopeful in the next year or two that the west side of town, which really runs through the heart of our small downtown business district, will be repaved. and that will really touch it up in addition to all the other projects that we've had going on down there. That's really given a facelift to our downtown business community. So we are hopeful that stays on track with the Department of Transportation, and we look forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look forward again, as we mentioned earlier, to the day that we can get back in the same room again, and hopefully have one of these chats face to face, and who knows, again, maybe even see each other down at the brewing company, or down at the Casa Mezcal, and be able to interact that way again as well.
That would be great. I really look forward to it.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, Brent, we always appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to chatting again in the near future.
Okay, well, thank you.